thanks. I'm very happy to be here. Yeah, we have a very interesting situation. So while Maushami talked about she's part of the real estate technology, we are part of real estate, commercial real estate services. I'll tell you a very unique situation that we are facing right now in the industry. And all of you, maybe you can give us some solutions. During COVID, the commercial properties prices had come down. You would imagine. Nobody was going to a hotel, nobody was going to a resort, nobody was going to an office. So naturally prices had come down. And if you have to invest in the property, the lending, when you take a loan, the amount was just about 0.5%. It was that less. It was like almost anybody who's slightly rich can buy a commercial property. It was a good investment. The tables have turned. What is happening right now as I speak, right? After the COVID is back, the commercial prices have shot up. Really shot up at an all-time high. And by the way, with the lending rates, take a loan, it's also gone up as a long-time high. So if you're an investor, you don't want to buy a property which is very highly priced, and also loan cost is very high. And we are exactly in the business of that. We help our customers get the loans, find the properties. So what do? Right? Nobody is buying any property, nobody is taking any loan. Should we shut stop and go back home, declare ourselves bankrupt? No, we don't do that, right? So what you're doing is very interesting in a way that you're offering services to our customers, for the lack of better word, complimentary, or सीधे बात बोले तो free में, in a way, because we are doing a lot of research analysis of properties on our own and presenting it to our customers and kind of nudging them to buy those. Because see, a lot of them are very passive customers. They won't come and tell you all to buy, but looking at a good proposition, they might decide to buy that. And by the way, if you show it to 5 customers, you have seen that at least one of them would want to buy that. Because at the end of the day, services is not about selling something. My CEO always says that services is about selling relationships. Business is all about relationships. Nothing comes for free. Although I said complimentary, it is not complimentary. The fact that you're giving it for free, you're building a relationship. The same customer who rejected me will come back and buy when the time is right for me. Right? So that is about being the services. It's all about building long-term relationships and not only about looking at short-term. That is what you're doing right now. We're using a lot of HR technology for our people practices. A quick example, and it is very important to define what the problem you are trying to solve. Before, just for not the sake of deploying technology, you should first articulate what is the problem you are trying to solve. And there is an amazing question asked by one of our employees when he was leaving Berkadia. So we were asking him, right, why you are leaving Berkadia? And I've never heard this before in my life. He said, sir, it is easier to find job outside than within Berkadia. Think about it, right? It is easier to find job outside than within Berkadia, which means that we should typically have a Naukri.com, right, which gives them long-term career or jobs within Berkadia. So what you have done, I think it is a tool that is internally built, and we, with the help of some external vendors as well, we're calling it as a career GPS. So if you joined Berkadia in a finance role, right, for two years, you felt that, well, it is not my cup of tea. I don't want to be a underwriter. I want to be a project manager. So you can actually go to the tool, click on project manager. It will tell you after 5 years, you can be a project manager, but in those 5 years, you have to do those 3 skills, technical skills, those 5 behavioral skills, and by the way, you have to go to PIBM for do an online course as well, do that certification, and by the way, there is a mentor for you, Miss or Mr. So-and-so, who can be at your beck and call. You can call and find out. So I know at any point of time what I want to do. I can click on that link and it will give me different career paths. It can take me 5 years, 7 years, 3 years, depending on how well I want to do. Of course, there has to be a role has to be available. But I think giving that clarity, giving that awareness is very important. So I don't know. People still leave us. I'm not saying that will solve the entire problem, but people won't leave us not knowing there is actually a role available. See, you're all large companies across so many different locations. Somebody has a role somewhere. My person in Hyderabad would not know that. Even I might not know that sitting in Hyderabad as a manager. So how do we create that visibility? That is, I think, working for us a lot, where we are able to retain critical talent, and that is important. You can't retain everybody because none of us work in the same company. We will leave, right? But retaining critical talent is important. Think like an entrepreneur. Now think about what they do very quickly. They are the ones who are obsessed about solving a customer's problem. Just obsessed about it. They look for problems. She talked about problem solving skills. Obviously, that's one very important thing, right? Another thing they do is that they take risks. Okay, they don't go by a standard process, method, system, and just follow that. They love to deviate from the way and try something new. And third thing is stay curious. If you see staying curious, having that entrepreneurial mindset and problem solving skills, I think these are the few skills which AI cannot imitate. Which means, and sir talked about some jobs going to go away. I think if you're imbibing those skills, I think your job will be safe. I don't know, at some point AI can become the intelligent, but not in the next 50 to 100 years. So you don't have an entrepreneur to think like an entrepreneur. You can be in your work and think like them. So develop that skill. That is the one thing I'll talk about.